This marvelous detector offers you three completely different modes of hunting. First of all is the discriminate mode, which you entered automatically by turning on the detector. Press the all-metal touchpad and you're in a genuine deep-seeking all-metal mode, which permits the deepest kind of treasure hunting. Third is the treasure imaging mode, which you entered by pressing this touchpad, and you've already had some experience with it. But first, let's learn how you can adjust any of the controls to make the detector hunt just the way you want it to hunt, and to locate just the targets you're looking for. You can regulate the GTI for any kind of treasure hunting with these touchpads. And this GTA reports online information. What you see is what you get. All your options are explained in this owner's manual. If you haven't done so, I urge you to read the manual carefully. You'll notice that Garrett prints its manuals in a size that fits easily into your pocket. So study it carefully, then take it into the field with you. This treasure vision screen with its imaging grid is the most obvious difference between the GTI and other detectors. But there are many others. And this single touchpad represents one of the major improvements that the treasure hunter can expect from the GTI. Press it, and the screen shows all metal. And that's exactly what it permits you to do. Hunt in a genuine all-metal mode. Any experienced treasure hunter will explain that you can always search deeper and with more sensitivity in this mode. We're going to talk more about all-metal hunting in a minute. But it's as a discrimination detector that the GTI will probably be used most of the time, and since most of the adjustments apply to the discriminate modes, we'll review them first. Your GTI offers 5 different discriminate hunting modes, 4 set at the factory, and 1 that you can style and save for yourself. When you turned on the detector, you were automatically operating in the factory preset coins detection mode, with discrimination, as shown on the lower scale, preset for the rejection of trash targets generally found in coin hunting. Press the menu touchpad and your mode selections appear. In setting any GTI modes, the words that are steady and not blinking, coins in this case, indicate the mode in which the instrument is operating. To change your mode selection, press the plus touchpad until the name of the mode you select is constant, say 0. Then press Operate, and you'll be hunting with no discrimination. Of course, anytime you press the Operate touchpad and see the word Search appear, you're ready to hunt. Now, let's press Menu again, then the plus touchpad to select other discrimination mode options. Choose Custom, Jewelry, Relics, 0, or the Coins mode. Note the changes that occurred in discrimination as shown on the lower scale. Now press Menu again, and the detector asks how we want to set sensitivity. You'll note that the factory setting is about 75%. Of course, you always want to hunt as deeply as possible, but search conditions may sometimes limit just how sensitive you can set your detector. Press the plus and minus touchpads and watch the segments in the upper scale. They indicate the sensitivity of your detector. This control option permits you to achieve maximum efficiency and all of the detection depth that is possible under any conditions. Press Menu again. The next option permits you to use the plus and minus touchpads to adjust the operating threshold. That's the audible sound produced by your detector when you turn it on and while you're scanning. After 20 movements on the lower scale, an upper scale segment will move. This operation is similar to that of the decimal system. When headphones are being used by plugging them in this jack at the rear of the battery case on your GTI, you'll probably need to lower your threshold level since sound is more audible through headphones. Remember that Mr. Garrett and his engineers all recommend the use of headphones. Your next option reflects the ability of your GTI to operate at 8 different detection frequencies. You may never want to use this option as long as you're hunting alone. When you're engaged in competition hunting or searching with others, you'll often find detectors interfering with each other, or you may sometimes hear an erratic sound caused by outside electrical or atmospheric interference. When this happens, access Frequency Selection and just press the plus or minus touchpads to change to a new frequency. Your changes will be indicated on the upper scale. When you press Menu again, you can see on the upper scale the volume level at which your targets will sound. Plus and minus pads can be used to regulate it. Since this adjustment controls the volume of sound produced by the GTI only when a target is encountered, it will not affect the threshold level you have selected as the primary audio function of your detector. Next option is Tone, which determines the pitch of the sound produced by your detector. Factory setting is now shown on the upper scale. Touching the plus pad will raise the tone into a higher treble range, while touching the minus pad will lower it into the bass range. Experiment to determine the pitch that best suits your hearing. Search aids are encountered next as you scroll through menu choices. The blinking letters indicate that the imaging function of your detector will function only when you press Treasure Imaging to enter that mode. After you gain experience with the detector, you might wish to hunt with this image turned on. If so, just press the plus touchpad. Of course, you can turn it off at any time by pressing the minus pad. Continuing to scroll through the selections, the feature of surface elimination is sometimes known as blanking. It will be helpful in areas where large amounts of trash are present on the surface. Utilizing this function will eliminate detection of coin-size objects to the specified depth, which we will now set to 2 inches by pressing the plus pad 2 times. If you don't want to use this function, make certain that no squares appear on the upper scale, indicating that the depth level is set to 0. Next, you may want to use the Salt Elimination Search Aid when hunting on an ocean beach or over any ground with high salt content. Press the plus touchpad when the word is blinking to turn it on. Press the minus pad to turn off the function, and the word will begin blinking again. Press the menu button again to select the type of audio you hear when you detect a target. You're now in bell tone audio. In the discriminate modes, you have your choice of 3 types of sounds you can hear when you detect a target. Remember the ringing sound you heard when you found that quarter? That's Garrett's exclusive Coin Alert bell tone audio. Press the minus pad to turn it off if you prefer standard audio. Press menu again, and you'll be offered your third option. And see the word bilevel blinking. 2 distinctly different types of sound are produced when this audio option is chosen. Targets of lower conductivity are announced with a sound that is pitched slightly lower. Generally, these are targets that register lower on the target ID scale. Silver coins and other targets of higher conductivity produce a higher pitched sound. When both bell tone and bilevel are blinking to indicate that they are turned off, the detector searches with standard audio. You'll want to try out all 3 of these options when you bench test your GTI or in your test plot. Next, this selection choice concerns rechargeable batteries. Press the plus touchpad to turn on the word rechargeable. Press minus to return your gauge to measuring standard batteries. Whether you're using NiCads or regular batteries, you will see that the GTI reports continually on the condition of your batteries. 5 squares are shown when your batteries are fully charged. When only one square remains, batteries should be changed. Let's learn how to change them. They can be found under the armrest, which slips back easily. Then, slide up the two battery case covers and tilt the detector to slide out the two battery containers. Next, change the 8 AA batteries, making certain that the new cells are aligned properly. And finally, put the holders back in the battery pack with the circles toward the center. Slide the doors on and slip the battery case back into position. The next search aid, backlight, will turn on automatically whenever the unit is in the menu mode. The backlight will turn itself off when you press Operate unless you have activated the function by pressing the plus pad to turn it on. The control panel of your GTI is now lighted so you can use it at night or in dark places. Press minus to turn off the function and blink again. To maximize battery life, it is recommended that the backlight is turned off whenever it is not needed. Now, here's a tip you should always remember. You can instantly restore factory settings on all controls by holding the power touchpad for about 5 seconds until you hear 2 beeps. And now you know how the amazing GTI 2500 can be regulated to suit the style of any treasure hunter. But here's a tip from Charles Garrett. Leave it in the coins mode with factory settings unless you really have a reason for changing any of these settings. And one of the most important of these reasons would concern detection modes. When we turned on the power, the 2500 was operating in a discriminate coins mode. You can easily select the discriminate 0 mode or any of the others. And there's another important control on this detector that makes it quite easy for you to hunt in 2 separate discriminate modes, almost at the same time. You can instantly switch from one mode to the other with this last mode touchpad. You can see that the detector is now operating in the discriminate 0 mode. But just by pressing the last mode touchpad, we're hunting in the coins mode again. The ability to change between any 2 discriminate modes so easily gives us the opportunity to check all of our targets quickly and simply by switching between modes. Or we can have a 3-mode detector by switching to the deep-seeking all-metal mode, which we will learn about in a minute. You should also remember that whenever you turn off your detector and turn it back on, it will begin hunting in the same mode you had been using last. The feature of backlight will function by pressing this touchpad. The control panel of your GTI is now lighted, so you can use it at night or in dark places. To maximize battery life, it is recommended that the backlight is turned off whenever it is not needed.